notification appeared in the sky, stating that the 10 players who attacked the relic would receive a substantial penalty, which was a 50% reduction in all stats for those players. Hearing this, Youngman's friends were left speechless. Some felt depressed, while others were angry, and they started cursing Youngman, blaming him for their predicament. Youngman could only reply with a simple sorry, as he didn't know about this penalty. However, deep down, he felt a little relieved as nothing penalty had been applied to it. But before he could finish processing this information, a system notification appeared in front of him, stating that since the zone leader couldn't protect the relic from being destroyed, the zone leader's stats would also be permanently decreased by 50%. At first, Youngman took his time to comprehend this information, but when he realized what had just happened, he exploded in anger. He began kicking objects nearby, and his friends cursed him while he vented his frustration. Meanwhile, Ryu enjoyed this scene, as he had planned all along to make Youngman's life a living hell, just as Ryu had experienced himself. Without wasting any time, Ryu opened the system shop and purchased an assassin hoodie and boots with the rest of his remaining gold, which slightly increased his movement speed. Then Ryu opened his combination window, a feature he had gained after reaching level 20, where he could fuse crystals into his equipment to gain bonus stats and abilities. He began the process by placing the skeleton necklace into the combination window and combined it with a mana stone. The system notified Ryu that the combination was successful, and all his stats increased by 1. Ryu repeated this process for all his mana stones, which he had obtained after killing the goblins, enhancing all of his equipment. As Ryu finished preparing himself, a chilling wind suddenly swept through the area, causing panic among all the players. Youngman and his crew were even more panicked, as their stats had already been decreased by 50%. In contrast, Ryu remained calm and collected, awaiting the arrival of the Divine Punisher. He knew that even for the Divine Punisher, it wouldn't be easy to defeat him. In his previous life, there had been a time when they had failed to protect the relic, and only 500 players had barely survived by fleeing from the Divine Punisher. However, Ryu wasn't here just for himself. He was on a mission to make every holy being into holy shit, and the Divine Punisher was next in line. Suddenly, with a crackling sound, a large crack formed in the sky, and from that crack, an angel with big bright wings wearing a hoodie and holding a large golden staff with a chilling aura appeared. The Divine Punisher slowly descended to the ground, raising his wand up into the sky. Under his hoodie, 2 creepy eyes stared at the players as he asked, "Any last words?" With that, he tapped his staff onto the ground, and the entire ground started shaking. All the players were hit by a tremendous pressure and could barely stand, while Ryu gazed at the Divine Punisher like an ice cream ready to be licked. Then, the purple energy wave slowly started to cover the entire area, and the system notified everyone that the agent of Divine Punisher had cast a restriction field. As the players tried to run from that area, the purple aura formed a barrier, restricting the players from going outside the area. The players started to panic and feel scared as they tried to break the barrier, but their efforts were in vain. Another system notification appeared, hitting all the players with the news that the stats of those inside the barrier would be decreased by 50%. Ryu observed this from outside the barrier, realizing that 300 people were now trapped inside, and he couldn't break the barrier to save them. The Divine Punisher started to laugh, and with a flick of his wand, thousands of purple auras formed around him. Ryu, with a saddened expression, turned away from the 300 players and said, "So it has started." Just like that, the Divine Punisher launched his attack toward all 300 players inside the barrier. Each and every arrow found its mark mercilessly, despite the players' attempts to run, hide, or defend themselves. The arrows struck them down mercilessly. Then Ryu explained that under the Divine Punisher's domain, he could gain full control over the space and use his arrows just like his